Work session to order. Time is now 6 p.m. Please remember to place your cell phones and all electronic devices in silent mode in order to prevent any disruptions in tonight's meeting. Roll call, Ms. Hamburg.
Councilmember Watts. Councilmember Ebright.
Here.
Councilmember Herring.
Here.
Councilmember Joyce.
Here.
Councilmember LaShie.
Here.
Mayor Van Hook.
Here. All right, minutes for meetings of September 6th and September 8th were emailed to each council member prior to tonight's meeting. Please take an additional moment for review for opening up for discussion. All right, any discussion? Councilmember Joyce?
None.
Councilmember Herring?
None.
Councilmember Ebright?
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts?
None.
And Councilmember LaShie?
None.
All right, minutes for meetings of September 6th and September 8th will be up for approval at tonight's regular session. All right, tonight we have 4 presentations to come before the council. First is our Sheriff's Police Department monthly report presented by Chief Fred. Hey, Chief.
Good evening, how are y'all?
Good. Good.
All right, so calls for service for the month of August are at, well, they were at 750, which is down from, or excuse me, up from a year ago and up just a little bit from the previous month of July. Criminal investigations, there were 38 cases in Semmes investigated by detectives for the month of August. Property value reported stolen or damaged, $40,841, just a slight decrease from the previous month. Domestic violence, 4 cases were investigated for domestic violence in Semmes for the month of August, which is not bad. 4 cases is really good. Major crimes investigations generated a total of 8 cases, 2 missing persons, 2 death investigations, 3 assault, felony assaults, and 1 sexual assault investigation. And other than the Popeye shooting that I'm sure everybody knows about, which was just a couple of weeks ago, there were really no significant events to report for the month of August.
All right, thanks, Chief. Any questions or comments, Councilmember Joyce?
Just to thank the chief for all they do, and that's quite a sweet ride outside.
Yes, it is.
The new truck.
Very nice. Councilmember Herring?
Same, the truck's very nice.
Councilmember Ebright?
Thank you, Chief.
Councilmember Watts?
What happened at Popeye?
A shooting. 2 females in the kitchen area of Popeyes. It was a domestic situation where one shot the other one in the leg.
Oh.
It's
So-
pretty foul. F-O-W-L.
Wow.
My wife thought
And that is a
Popeyes.
foul
Councilmember LaShie?
Hey, Chief. What y'all do?
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Chief. All right. Let's see. Next, we have our fire department monthly report presented by Chief Kevin Brooks.
Yeah,
I won't make any more corny jokes. I apologize.
Don't quit until
My son told me that. I thought it was pretty funny.
Good evening, everyone. We've got our pie chart broken down to our major incident types and percentages. So our rescue and emergency medical, 73.22%. Fires was 3.77%. False alarm and false calls, 5.44%. Good intent calls was 6.69%. And service calls was 10.88% for the month. Number of major incident types, we had 9 fires for the month, 175 rescue and emergency medical service calls, 26 service calls, 16 good intent calls, 13 false alarm, false calls, for a total of 239. Compared to this time last year was 296, so we were down almost about 60 calls. Training hours, company drill, we had 465.5 hours. Continuing education, we had 24. Driver operator training, 44 hours. Firefighter health and wellness, 56 hours. And officer continuing education, we had 205 hours. We had several people that went to some fire officer classes that was kind of hours up. We're up this month in training. Compared to last year was 607 hours. Average turnout time, station 1 was 40 seconds, station 2 was 46 seconds, and station 3 was 39 for an average turnout time of 42. We're a little bit up from last year. We had an average turnout time of 37 seconds. Average response time, station 1 was 6.67 minutes. Station 2 was 7.03. So this was the first month that we really had a good, where we could run a report for our new station. So those times look pretty good, 7:03. Station 3 was 7.64. Compared to last year, station 1 was 7.45. Station 2 was 8.17. And station 3 was 7.62. Overlapping calls, we had 47 for the month, for a total of 19.67% of the time, compared to last year, which almost was double, 95 calls for a percentage of 32.09%. Average time on scene was roughly 17 minutes and 12 seconds, compared to last year was 20 minutes. Mutual aid calls, we responded to 2 calls for calls in Wilmer's jurisdiction to assist them, and also last year we responded to 1 mutual aid call. Significant events, we had a vehicle fire August the 7th. We responded to 10874 Walton Road, possible vehicle fire upon arrival. There was a late model Camry with fire coming from the engine compartment, the rear bumper and right side tail light. Engine 2's crew deployed the front jump line and extinguished the fire. The fire was suspicious in nature and is still under investigation. We also responded to the corner of Cottonwood and Jamaica Road for a vehicle versus motorcycle. Arrived on scene to find a patient lying in the road with trauma arrest. Engine 2 personnel began patient care. Mobile County EMS arrived on scene with Semmes Fire and Rescue personnel assisting. South Flight was unable to fly, so the patient was transported by ground with 1 Semmes firefighter on board. And then also for the month, August the 27th, we responded to a vehicle fire, possibly endangering a structure. Upon arrival, there was a SUV fully involved. Engine 2 deployed front attack line, extinguished the fire, no damage to any existing structures. The owner stated that he had just done some work on the vehicle, drove it to the end of Wiggum Road, and let it call a fire shortly thereafter. We also have some pictures coming in from our new engine. kind of shows you some, a detailed, spec on, where some of the things are gonna be located. The chassis is there, of course, there's a picture of the body and the cab of the engine. So we've been getting these in every Friday. We didn't get one this past Friday, so hopefully I'm hoping that the cab is in paint right now, so, we're looking at a completion date. The last word I got is November 22nd. And then, last but not least, we applied for a grant, with Plains Pipeline. And, of course, 3 years ago, we applied for one through them and received a hazmat trailer. But, we've been, unable to purchase some equipment for it, so I applied this year, and we were granted $13,500 for some hazmat equipment. So we'll start, when we get that check in, we'll start ordering that equipment that we put in for the grant. Any questions?
Questions or comments, Councilmember Joyce?
Thank you, Chief, appreciate everything you and your, department do. It was great to see the response times from Station 2.
Yeah. Thought it was real good.
Yeah. When I saw members of the Station 2, they mentioned, asked them how they liked their new quarters. But they mentioned the outdoor lights and didn't know something.
We're looking into that without manpower.
Okay.
Come up through the parking area?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what was the, I hate to ask, the result on that motorcycle accident?
I don't know, the outcome of that.
All right, well, I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay.
Councilmember Herring?
Chief, appreciate the report and of course all the hard work you and your department does for our city.
Thank you.
Councilmember Abraham?
Same here, appreciate what you crews and everything does for the citizens and community as well. Thank you.
Councilmember Watts?
How much did the fire engine cost?
It was about $585,000.
How much was the other one? The last new one?
They were around $500,000.
No.
Yeah.
How
With all the
many
pricing.
engines we got now?
We have 3 frontline engines. We have a 20-year-old reserve engine. We have a 2013 tanker and a 22-year-old ladder truck.
We're going to retire the 20-year-old truck once this truck gets in.
That's close to $1 million in fire trucks then.
Over.
More than that.
Way
Way more than that, yeah.
Wow.
Councilmember LaShie?
Hey, good work y'all do.
Chief, I'm gonna ask you, I should ask you this too, Chief, friend. I know you guys got called on that 15-year-old that was, basically died from the overdose here in Semmes from fentanyl. Obviously it's an issue in our community, it's going around. We're hearing about the vape issue. Can y'all give us some enlightenment on this council a little bit, what's going on with that, Chief Fran? Can you help me out with that? What are we doing is this part of your plan? I know we really can't tell the sheriff's department how to run the department, but, you know, we're trying to, it's become a concern in our community about it.
It is, 2020 was the first incident that was found to have fentanyl in vapes, which is now just getting here. Those were discovered in California by the DEA. So they're now making it over here, and it's starting to become a real problem. Kind of like the infusion of meth was 20+ years ago. Now we're getting an infusion of fentanyl. They're in small colored pills, they're in powder form, they're shaped and packaged to attract teens and young adults. So much like the synthetic marijuana was. So now we've switched gears to fentanyl. Of course, everybody knows how strong fentanyl is. Famous people like Michael Jackson overdosed from fentanyl. So it only takes a thumbnail full, if that, to kill somebody. Fort Walton Beach just had a raid not long ago. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was enough to kill the whole city.
Oh my goodness.
The whole population of Fort Walton. So, that was a big bust, getting things off the street. So what we're planning on doing is getting into the schools and trying to educate these kids about what the dangers are of fentanyl, and other drugs, of course. So that's part of the plan to get into the schools, especially the elementary and the middle schools. Middle school is really the target.
I appreciate you saying so. I mean, I should have asked you while you were up there, but I remember Chief, Brooks actually telling me that about the call.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of, triggered me to ask you about it. And then, we've seen many posts on Facebook and social media. I guess my concern is like where they're getting it at. Does that make sense? And so if it's somewhere in our community, obviously we want to do our part to make sure that it's not just that they're shut down, closed
Right,
down,
yeah.
put in jail for years.
Most of it is coming from outside of our community.
Yeah.
And we've discovered that it's not coming from Semmes, it's coming from other places around Semmes, but it's coming into Semmes.
Right.
People from Semmes are going to get it and coming back, and it's just multiplying from there. So.
All right, thanks, Chief. Thank you.
All
All right, that was our fire department monthly report. Now we have our financial report by our finance director, Ms. Calhoun. Thank you, ma'am.
So good evening.
Good evening.
This report is on the 11th month, and we only have 10 more days in this fiscal year, so woo-hoo, another one down on us. So this is of August 31st, which is 91.67% complete. Our general fund revenues are at 93.5%, so if we were to do all things equal, you'd get about 8.33% more in September, and we would be over 100% in revenues. Don't hold me to that. As you can see, well, you can't see. I gave you my report where I make my calculations, and I think it'll make it easier for you to follow me. So general sales tax, that's both the PJ and the city limits, is at 93%. Rental and lease tax is at 51%. Lodgings tax is at 93.3%. Consumers use is at 123%. Sellers use is at 83%. Beer tax is 8% below budget, and wine tax is 13% below budget. Business licenses are at 89% of budget. Permits, which means I guess we're building a very large number of homes or something here, is at 159%, and that 59% helps us offset some of the shortages in other revenues. Park fees are at 127%. It's a small revenue, but everything helps. Fees and other charges are at 131%, and this revenue increased 10% in August. Other charges are our planning fees, and they are 3.25 times the amount budgeted. So there are plans for more buildings, if I understand that correctly. Overall, total revenues are at 93.5% of budget, and this is 1.83% higher than if the budget were equally distributed. So we're looking good in our revenues. Expenditures for the general fund, our executive department, which is all of you, are under budget in both personnel and operations. That's on page 2. The administration budget, which is pages 2 through part of 4, is 3% over budget in personnel, and again, I probably tell you this every month, is due to the large increase in workman's comp, which is on page 3. Operations are under budget by less than 1%. The police department, you'll find on pages 4 and 5, is under budget in personnel by 11%. The police operations budget is 20% under budget. Overall, the police department is almost 18% under budget. The sheriff's department is at budget because it is a equally distributed cost. The fire department, pages 5 through 7, is 4% below budget in personnel. The operations budget for the fire department is under budget by 7%, and overall the fire department budget is 7.5% under budget. Emergency operations, and we've discussed this month over month, is at 134%, and that is your DRC invoices that came in from Sally and Zeta. Municipal court is on page 7 and 8. Personnel is under by 7.56%. The operations budget for court is 22% under budget, and the overall budget is for court is 24% under budget. Public works, pages 8 and 9, is 10% under budget in personnel. The operations budget is 3.33% under budget, and overall public works is under budget by 14%. Permitting and inspections on page 10 is 56% under budget in personnel. And there was a budgeted position that remained open all year. Operations is under by 53%. Parks on pages 10 and 11. Personnel budget is under by 5%. And this is offset by personnel services in the operations budget, which is over by $28,000. So operations is under by 4.7%. Overall, this budget is under by 5%. Community outreach, pages 11 and 12, is 3.68% under budget in personnel, and in operations, 28% under budget. Economic development is at 97.13%, so 0.03% under budget there. Planning and zoning on page 13 is 3% under budget in personnel. Operations has expended only 23% of the budget, so overall only 42% of the budget has been expended. Engineering services, architectural services, and training account for the amount saved. Appropriations have been fully distributed, and I think you'll notice there's $22,500 remaining. One of our appropriations never cashed their check.
Are we gonna cancel that check?
We already have, sir. Local gas tax is our road and right-of-way department. That's on pages 14 and 15. Revenues are at 91.46%, just 0.21% under budget. Personnel is at 51%, and like parks and roads, like parks department, the roads and right-of-way initially hire workers through SARCSI. And that accounts for the low percentage in personnel services. But personnel services are over by $65,277. Operation expenditures for roads and right-of-way is at 120% of budget. And overall roads and right-of-way budget is at 79%, which is 12.67% under budget. So there is a pretty good offset between personnel and personnel services for them to be under budget. On the gas taxes, the 4 and 5, the 7 and 10 and wholesale, there has been minor changes to the tune of maybe $3,000 in each gas tax. So I'm not gonna go over those for you tonight. The next report is your your check register, I'm sorry. Bond funds spent in August were $649,946.70. So the check report is for your review, and if you have any questions, I'm available.
Yes, Ms. Mary. Any discussion, Councilmember Joyce?
Thank you, Ms. Mary, for, giving us a detailed report. I know you're looking forward to the end of the month. And to thank your staff, Ms. Monica and Ms. Anna, for all they do. And I will say, for this report, unlike the previous ones, I like seeing the notes in the margin with the percentages, so when you rattle it off, it's,
You like that better?
yes, with your hand to follow along what you're saying, so I appreciate you doing that.
Thanks.
Yes,
Councilmember
please.
Herring?
Basically the same, appreciate you and your department's hard work, and I like the percentages added in as well.
See, I'm not alone.
Councilmember Abraham?
Thank you, Mary, for all your hard work with and your crew and everything, getting these. I know it's been a long year getting this to where you wanna get it to. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Watts?
I've discussed this with the mayor. Like for public safety, the state troopers here, in Semmes, just consider maybe funding some of them, for the work they do here in Semmes, that could be considered, and I asked.
Yeah, he wants to talk about maybe, I've reached out to this, I haven't heard anything back yet, but possibly doing kind of a appreciation, type thing for him, so. But then we answering all the local traffic calls, so. Yeah.
Speed traps.
Councilmember, I think it's a great idea, I'm gonna, as soon as I get it, I'll get with you. Councilmember LaShie?
Appreciate what you do and all the hard work y'all do to get this read forward.
Thanks, Ms. Mary. All right, next, let's see, where we at? Next, we have our, Semmes Chamber report from the Semmes Chamber President, Ms. Sharon Merle. Hi, Ms. Sharon.
How are y'all?
Good, we missed you at the chamber meeting last week.
Thank you. I missed the luncheon, but Gatlinburg is calling my name,
Oh, yeah, I hear
so
you.
I must go.
My dad's there now.
Thank you all, for the ones that were able to attend the luncheon. Miss Margaret with, Ring of Hope, she actually sponsored the luncheon. And we had someone from the Mobile County EMA, and I hope that was beneficial to some of our small businesses, some of the things that he discussed. So thank you for the ones that was able to attend that. We do have our first responders delivery that we're gonna be doing on September the 28th. We're gonna be delivering Chick-fil-A biscuits to them and some type small item that we're gonna pick up for them. So we'll be doing that on September the 28th. October the 12th is our State of the City and County breakfast, where Mayor Van Hook and Commissioner Connie Hudson will be speaking. The doors will open at 8, the meeting will start at 8:30, and of course we will have a catered breakfast, so hope y'all will be able to come and attend that event. And then, yesterday I talked with Miss Linda, and we're gonna be doing our next sock hop with the Semmes Senior Center on Halloween. She wants everyone to dress up, so Mayor, no pressure, but be getting your costume ready.
I danced last time with them, remember? I
You
think
did.
I was the only one that
You
danced
did,
with them last
you
time.
did. So, anyway, that's gonna be on October the 31st at the Senior Center. We're gonna start around 12:30 this time. We're gonna start a little earlier so we can finish a little bit earlier. So that's the events that we have upcoming.
Thank you. They got video, it was on their Facebook page. I think I was learning how to do the hand jive, is that what I was doing? I can't remember.
It was, that's what you were doing. And fortunately, we do have this, same sponsor that's gonna be
Great.
sponsoring the event again, so we're really excited to have her doing that as well.
Great, any discussion, Councilmember Joyce?
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for coming and giving the report and everything the chamber does. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Herring?
Appreciate all the hard work you and the board do.
Councilmember Ebright?
Same thing, appreciate it.
Councilmember Watts? Councilmember LaShie?
Appreciate what y'all do, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. That's not my mic. All right, moving on, we do have one, I know we have one citizen comment from, Coach Golson back here in the back, I just saw him. Hey, Coach. Do we have any other citizen comments on services, policies, and affairs of the city?
Yes, sir. We have James Ward that would like to speak on a new VFW post in this area.
Mr. Ward, come on up. Mr. Ward, I just have to ask you to say your name and address for the record.
James Ward, I live at 3180 Grandma Driscoll Road over in Wilmer. Actually, I live in Tanner Williams, it's not Wilmer.
What can we do for
Several
you?
of us, I'm sorry.
What can we do for you?
Well, several of us that are in the VFW have two choices. We either go down Highway 90 or we go to Theodore. And we've got a lot of veterans out in this area, so we put our heads together and said, hey, we need to start looking at the West Mobile area. And this being an up and coming city, we thought this might be a general location for a new post possibly. We're looking at the Tanner Williams area, Wilmer, Georgetown, Chanchula, this, west part of Mobile. as our target area for forming this, and, looking at maybe putting the post here in Semmes. And I'll tell you straight up, we're not gonna be a bar, we're gonna be a VFW post. We are about taking care of the veterans, and, our national VFW says, hey, we're trying to get out of the alcohol business, and I'm like, good, cause I don't drink, so I don't need to be there. We've got, like I said, we got the post down in Theodore, where I'm a member at now. I can tell you last month, our expenditures on bar versus profit, we made $30. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
And, like I say, I wanted to come and talk to the council, see if any of y'all had any objections to us maybe putting a post here. And, you know, there's things that we can do to help the community, because part of our thing is we have to give a percentage of our profits. Even though we're a nonprofit, we do fish fries, steak dinners and such. We have to give a percentage of it back to the communities. And, those of us that are putting this together, we're talking about, you know, the outlying communities as well. Volunteer fire departments always need something, EMS needs something. We were looking at 2 service projects right here in town that we noticed the flagpole at the library doesn't have a halyard on it. So that would be a project that we could take care of. Some of the flags over at Heritage Park starting to look a little worn. That will be our area to come in and take care of that kind of stuff for you. As veterans, we would also like to be a part of your Veterans Day presentations, the POW Remembrance Time, and, you know, kind of bring the veterans of the community back together where they need to be, not down in Mobile or down in Theodore.
Yeah, do you guys have any places that you've looked yet?
We've looked at one, and that's, kind of across the street from the Heritage Park next to the church there. I guess it used to be an old hardware or something.
Yes, what are you talking about?
And, we've looked at that, but we haven't talked to anybody about it because we still got a lot of groundwork we got to do.
Right. Are you a veteran first?
I am.
We
I
appreciate your service.
retired last August a year ago with 41 years of military.
Wow, congratulations. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We salute you. When it comes to veterans of the VFW, I personally, I can't speak for the council, but I personally, would support you in being down here in Semmes. We do a lot for our veterans as a city, as a community. And we would highly, absolutely, like I said, I can't speak for the council, but I can speak for myself. Love for a VFW branch to be out here, not only to help give back to our community, but help give back to our veterans. Does any other council members want to say anything?
I think it's a great idea, and appreciate all your dedication and your service and continuing to serve your community, so it'd be great to see you here in Semmes.
Well, we
So
appreciate
anything
it.
that you can do, get with the mayor to further that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so like I say, before you leave, get with Jason Franklin too. We can, whatever we can do to help you guys in your search, we'll be more than happy to help.
Okay, well, like I say, we're just trying to look for members.
Sure.
You know, we kinda can't just take any member, we gotta have combat veterans, and
Right.
sometimes finding them is like finding chicken lips, so.
Why just combat veterans?
Veterans of foreign war, it says there, veterans of a foreign war, you have to be a member of a, you know, you had to have served in combat. The American Legion takes all the others, the DAV takes everybody. We will service everybody, but to be a member, you have to be a combat veteran.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And those dates and stuff are set aside actually by Congress, not by us. It has to do with when they start a campaign and when that campaign ends, is how we get our membership times.
That's good.
And in the last couple of years, we've racked up more veterans, combat veterans, than most of us care to talk about.
Well, Mr. Ward, we appreciate you and your service. Like I said, get with Jason, give him your contact information before you leave today.
Okay.
And Jason's also a veteran.
All right.
I believe you're a combat
He's right
veteran
back.
as well.
On the
National
back.
Star.
Yeah.
So he's right there in the green shirt, blue shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Coach Golson with MGM High School. Come on up, Coach. So, in case you guys don't know, this is the new MGM football coach. MGM just had their first win in, what was it, 23 games?
In 23 games, we finally got over the
Wow,
hump.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, congratulations.
So yeah, we were able to pull off a victory this past week at Alma Bryant. We've been really close all season. Played, I think, our first 3 games. We lost in the last 5 seconds by 1 point in overtime. We lost in the last 45 seconds in week 2 by 4 points, and then we lost to Foley by week 3 by 1 point in overtime. So a lot of heartbreakers. It's been a really tough start to the season, but one thing I wanted to mention is appreciation for the support from you guys, the community, our parents, and then just seeing our coaches and our players and our school, our admin, everybody just stick together, and the positive support that we had, I think, was a big reason why we had success this past week, and I think what's going to continue to propel us forward throughout the season. We have a really good team. The teams that we lost to in that close of fashion are 13-3 right now, or something like that. Maybe, I guess they probably would. I think they went to 15-4. Excuse me, 15-4 on the season. So we played some really good teams and lost in very close games. So I'm excited about that. Look forward to having everybody come out for that. It's going to be a great event on Thursday. Celebrating a lot of different groups, a lot of people. And we're just excited about a chance to compete again. We don't get too many opportunities. We work really hard, all year. January, most of our work really goes in January through August, and then this is kind of the fun, the joy, the getting to compete in front of our families and our community. So it's been a lot of fun watching our guys play. I'll tell you one more story real quick. We started this thing off in January, and we had 180 kids sign up 10 through 12 for football. They finished the season last year with 40 players, and so we had a lot of enthusiasm very early. We started 0-4, and it scared me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Tuesday practice, which is our very hard day, it's a very physical day. We get after each other pretty good. We had 120 players, which just to kind of compare that to other people, I would say most people are practicing with about 80 to 85. We have 120 kids at 0-4 that were excited to come and get after it. And so I just think that that's a testimony to our kids and our people, and blue collar type place that the kids they love ball, they love playing, they love the game, and I think it's gonna. I think this thing's got a chance to be really successful right now. One other thing I want to mention: our freshman team's 5-0, and that's kind of one of the big things that we talked about. Also was our youth leagues have been good. Middle school was good. We got to start bridging that gap starting in high school at some point. It really starts with your freshman group. We had a big signing day for those kids. They got a really talented group of kids that are going to hopefully stick together. They're 5-0 right now, so I'm really excited about where our program is and where we're headed right now and long term. So.
Do you want to introduce your friend back there?
Yeah,
Come on up, Jared.
Come on up, Jared. So this is our quarterback, Jared Hollins.
You got to speak too, Jared.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm trying to get out of this. I told him don't call him white.
He's Jared's been a really big part of our success. I think right now he's the number 4 passer in the state of Alabama.
Wow.
That's 1A through 7A. That's all.
Smile, Jared.
It's the newspaper right here.
It's not me taking your picture.
Good. But he's done a great job. He's a very humble leader, great young man, great in school, just a great kid to be around. We got a lot of kids that are like him, and so yeah, phenomenal kid. You want to say anything?
Of course. Man, I would just like to thank God for the opportunity He's given me and what He's placed me with and placed before me. So, like He said, we started off 0-4 in a very heartbreaking way, but everybody came back, and I think our word is perseverance. Like, we just persevered through some hard things, and especially coming off a few years of nothing but losses, we still find a way to make it happen. So, I mean, we're a good team headed in a good direction, so I'm proud about that, and it's all about the teammates. Like he say, I'm the number 4 passer in the state, but I can't do nothing without my team, and so it's just I like where we're at right now.
Coach Jared, I graduated from Mary Montgomery in 1999. And the mentality of this football team and the community backing it, I haven't seen since then. I don't know what you've done, but I applaud you for number one. You know, in fact, the city's on board with you guys. You know, all our banners around town, we want to represent. You came in as wanting to be a Viking nation, and we thought it was a great idea. And I think a lot of the businesses have joined on your team. The community has, and we haven't seen, oh Lord, we haven't seen this kind of mentality for Vikings in years. I mean, I think you've even gone to the point where the youth football has been renamed from Colts to Vikings. And so we're all, I mean, it's all under one umbrella. And, you know, it inspires the young kids to want to be what Jared is right now. And so you got a lot of kids looking up to you, Jared. I don't want to put any pressure on you.
He's had a lot of pressure.
But you know, I was at the football game on Friday, and you played fantastic. You all did. And you know, it was exciting. Now Helen missed her first game, so we might not let her back to the next one. So all right. You want to add anything to it?
Well, one, thank you, Coach, for coming, and thank you, Jared, because I know this is probably not the what you necessarily wanted to do on your evening, but appreciate everything you do. It is, having been on the sidelines photographing the team, it's night and day from last year. Last year was miserable. Thought actually, really, there were times on the sideline thought I was at a funeral, and those kids were trying. I mean, I'm kind of honest. And so what Coach Golson and his staff, because he's got a staff of 12, I don't know, but between the coaches, the trainers, he's got a good group of trainers and the boosters that support this program in addition to the businesses. I happened to go to the Winn-Dixie today, and I turned, and there was this huge display of 12 packs of Dr. Pepper and Coke and stuff, and there's the MGM schedule. I mean, you couldn't miss it, and I hadn't seen that before. So it's definitely catching, and having been to a couple of the overtime losses, it's so close, but it's just great to see the teamwork and the dedication and the hard work, and having great leadership to both on the team and coaching staff. That it means a lot for the community, and so we're proud to get behind the team, and thank you for my hat. I do wear hats. And I'll be out there on Thursday.
Anybody else want to say?
You definitely have created a buzz around the town, and it's a great feeling.
Anybody else?
Same here, appreciate it, Coach.
Councilman Washington?
But one thing for sure, when you play sports in high school, a lot of eyes are on you.
Councilmember Watts?
I think we ought to give them an applause.
You know, a lot of people may look at this and say, well, it's just a football team, but we look at it in another aspect as the city council, because we have to see what brings people to our community. And obviously our school and our sports programs is a huge factor in the success in our community. So actually here, we heard you were coming today, so actually we did a certificate of recognition that I want to read off to you now. So, come on up here, Coach.
Yep, and then a picture. Jared, come on. Oh, you got it. You used to be taking your
All right, so you ready? So on behalf of the City Council for the City of Semmes, we would like to express our sincere admiration to the Mary G. Montgomery High School football team for their outstanding efforts and their recent win. We appreciate the hard work and the endless hours spent toward improving the Viking football team. Furthermore, we would like to express our appreciation for the professionalism and motivational efforts of the entire management team. All their training efforts have made a huge difference. We pride ourselves on your hard work and dedication in making every critical play count by going the extra mile. Your team is an inspiration to us and plays an essential role at MGM High School and the City of Semmes. Again, the City Council for the City of Semmes recognizes the improvements of the Viking football team and wishes the team the best throughout the season. Skol Vikings. Come on. Congratulations. Good job. Arthur?
Competing in photographers.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all very much.
Appreciate it. Congratulations. Congratulations, Bob.
I'll take your picture.
First committee.
I'm looking for you Friday. They sent me elsewhere. I was there when you got back.
All right, any other citizen comments, Ms. Debbie?
No, sir.
All right, let's move on to ordinances. We have no ordinances. Tonight, we do have 5 resolutions up for discussion. First is Resolution A and reads as follows. A resolution for days and times of regular meetings of the council. As we discussed in our last meeting, that I'm asking this council to move our meetings to twice a month, which would be the first and third Tuesday, and the first and third Tuesday at 5:30 for our work session, and the first and third Tuesday each month at 6:30 for our regular session. Tonight, we've actually had 2 people talk tonight, which matches the whole 2 years we've been in office. So it's kind of amazing. So appreciate you coming, Mr. Ward and Coach Wilson. Yeah. So we, like I said in the last meeting, we split our meetings up to give more opportunities for the community to come and speak to us. We did our part, what we said we were going to do, and what I campaigned on. But like we said in the last meeting, we've only had 3 people within those 2 years come before this council and talk to us about any concerns that they may have. So on that note, I'm asking this council to get rid of the Thursday night meetings and have our meetings only on the first and third Tuesday of each month. And again, that is the work session starting at 5:30 and the regular session starting at 6:30. Now, I do want everybody keep in mind when doing this. Right now, when we schedule a meeting to do it once a week, we immediately take a 5-minute break and go into the next session. With this, we cannot. So if we advertise our meetings at 6:30, if we have a meeting that starts at 5:30 and ends at 5:45, then our next meeting cannot start till 6:30 because we have to advertise it 24 hours ahead of time. So am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So any discussion, Councilmember Joyce?
You brought it up at the last meeting, and as you said, after 2 years of participation wasn't exactly what you thought. In order to give the benefit of having multiple meetings, I think it's a smart thing to do. Also, I think our staff will be greatly appreciative of it. The public still has the opportunity either to come or come to the council meetings, but you also have all the various committee meetings. So there's still lots of opportunities for someone to come express their opinion. So I think it's a good thing to do.
Thank you, Councilmember Herring.
Nothing to add.
Councilmember Ebright.
I think so.
Councilmember Watts. Councilmember Lawson.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it.
All right. Resolution A will be up for approval at tonight's regular session. All right, next is Resolution B and reads as follows. A resolution adopting the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. This time I'll ask Ms. Calhoun, our Finance Director, to present Resolution B to the council.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Finance Committee for their long, hard hours of work on this. This year, we met 4 times. We met one time and discussed revenue. Then we invited the department heads and the agencies that wanted appropriations to come and present their requests to the committee. So there were some nights I think we left here at 8 and 8:30. So there's been a lot of hard work put in it besides that done by me and my staff. So what you see is the work and opinion and recommendation of some very, very smart people, and we appreciate their volunteering. So this year, we're recommending that you adopt a budget with $12,087,570 in revenues. Then our expenditures can only be 90% of our budgeted revenues. So our total expenditures, and this includes capital, is at $10,458,210. So I'll draw your attention to the top of the page where it says prior year carryover. We are carrying over $2,650,000, and 1.5 of that will go into capital. Previously, there was an ordinance that required us to put everything that was over $400,000 a month into, capital. And I just don't see that as a good way, so you rescinded it, and I appreciate that. So we've taken care of a lot of our capital needs, and now we're able to put money back. The other part of that is just rolled over into this budget to take care of some more capital needs. So once the 1.5 at the bottom transfer to capital is what I just discussed, and then the difference, a little over 500,000 is going to be spent on capital this year. So we are taking care of capital. We are making sure that our personnel and operations do not exceed the revenues, new revenues coming in. We are not basing our budget on what we carry forward, and that's very important to sustain where we are. Local gas tax is the only other fund we're budgeting this year, other than the transfer to capital investment. Those revenues are at $408,000, expenditures are at $296,000, so we anticipate $116,000 surplus there. And at the end of this fiscal year, with this revenue and expenditure for the general fund, we expect a surplus of $1.6 million. And I believe we have about $2.5 million left in fund balance. And that's in addition to the $1 million reserve you have. So I would say that the city of Semmes is in quite decent financial shape.
I would too. I do want to add that, before we go into questions, I do also want to thank the finance committee, because it was a lot of work. And in fact, in my report, I'll put on here that we were in session until 9:13 the last meeting. I mean, not the last meeting, but the meeting before that.
You even brought dinner in.
Yeah, I even had to bring dinner in because we were here that long. But, you know, they all worked hard. But one thing we all did agree on is that we didn't raise revenues. A lot of municipalities raised revenues this year. One thing we did not do is raise revenues because we were concerned about, recession. We don't know what the recession is going to bring within the months to come. So this budget that we created was based off of recession, but putting capital back into our community. And obviously the capital that we put back in our community that we've all been talking about is that we're getting ready to build another fire station on Schillinger Road. We've already purchased the property on Schillinger Road, but in order to build, we have to have all the, the engineering work, architectural work, and all that done. And that's our goal for this year, to complete that, for build. So, these revenues could be low, these revenues could be spot on. We're hoping they're low, and if they are, then we'll revisit again. But that, I just wanted to point that out. And also, Ms. Mary mentioned also, but we can only budget our 90% of our estimated revenue. And our, only 90%, that's right, 90% of our estimated revenue. So basically, we estimate more than 12 million, but we can only budget, it's 12 million we estimate, but we can only budget 10 million. Is that right? Where's that, Mary?
Actually, I don't think it's in this, not calculated.
Yeah, that's right. It's 12 million.
It's 12 million in revenue.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
So the 90%.
So that's the only 90% of what we've estimated in our 90% of our revenue. So we're excited about that. Any other discussion or comments, Councilmember Joyce?
Well, thank you, Miss Mary. This is a Herculean task to go through, and I will say, serving on the finance committee, that having the department heads come and present their budget, so that instead of everything thrown at one time and keep going over the same thing, tackling each department, the fire department, the police department, the needs, and the budget and the changes, was very helpful, and I think actually made it as far as committee members, a little, more helpful. And same thing to have those, seeking appropriations to come ask for it and answer the questions as to, why they got their hand out, and why, we should give them money. So, anyway, I know it's a lot of work, and so appreciate, all you do, and for the mayor, and giving us a conservative, budget.
And we will add to, before I move over, if you don't mind, we will add that we also did add a budget this year that we haven't added, which is the police department. And so which would be our first full budget for policing. So we looked at our appropriations and and also the projected, revenues and our projected expenditures. And I'll be honest with you, we did have to cut back on some of our appropriations this year. But I think it was very appropriate and what we still, allotted to those, organizations. And I think they'll be, happy to see that, we're still involved.
One of the things that we did in estimating conservative revenues was cut about $800,000 in revenues, so what you see is not, it's less, and
Right.
we're doing more with it, so.
And kudos to our department heads, because our department heads did cut their revenues as well. I mean, their, expenditures as well. Councilmember Herring?
I just wanna thank everyone involved with it. Just listening to the amount of, additional time in your committees and everything that it took to get it to where it's at is very appreciative. And also thank you, of course, to the mayor, and taking the council of what may, come, financially, to our city, and taking that consideration and making sure that the city should be financially stable going forward, no issues. Hopefully better.
That's right. Councilmember Ebright?
Yeah, same here, tending the finance, everything but the last one I had a conflict. But, tending the finance committee really helped, going forward with this and everything y'all went through and the long hours was appreciated.
Councilmember Watts? Councilmember Lawson?
Appreciate it, especially handling the money.
We're all glad it's you. All right, Resolution B, thank you, Ms. Mary. Resolution B will be up for approval at tonight's regular session. All right, next is Resolution C, and reads as follows. A resolution to award bidding contract with Kent's Landscaping LLC for landscaping at the new City Hall. All right, so I'm going to ask Mr. Franklin, our Public Works Director, to present Resolution C to the council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, it's not time to spend some money now.
Speaking of budgets.
But this came out of the last budget. This came out of our bond money, but we had budgeted about $250,000 to take care of the landscaping needs, which includes plants, sod, trees, pine straw, mulch, anything that goes into the landscape. Also sprinklers, sprinkler heads, a new well to feed the pond out there and to also feed the sprinkler heads, and a fountain to go out into the pond. So that's what this covers. We did take it out to bid like the resolutions or the resolution says here. We only had one bid come back, but the architect that designed this for us said this is a reputable company, and he said he feels good about the price. He expected it to be higher than this, so we're happy. They've done a lot of similar projects, sizable projects like this, and they got a pretty good reputation. So we got a recommendation letter from WAS Architects, recommend that we accept this bid, and I don't have any reasons why not. I haven't heard anything bad about them either, but I think it's a good bid, and we're excited to, if you guys approve this, to get this started.
Mr. Franklin, any discussion or comments? Councilmember Joyce?
No, with all the funds that, are spent in making the, City Hall, it's, gotta spend some money to make it look nice on the outside, so, I don't think it'll be nice to have that fountain in the detention, so, appreciate it.
Councilmember Herring?
Sounds good.
Councilmember Ebright?
Know several people in the community waiting for y'all, us to get in there and show it off.
Councilmember Watts? Councilmember LaShie.
We have to see all that before we can install all that, to get that point.
Yeah, the site work guy's supposed to be back out there this week, so we should start seeing some cleaned up areas to get ready for this.
We were out there today, Pastor Andrew from Pathway wanted to see the building, we took him out there on a tour. They said they were gonna start washing the brick this week, so that's a good sign.
Good deal.
He said it only takes a day.
Hopefully.
Wait, what? Anything else to add?
I might be on the watch to look.
I know you do. I do at the end, when I wanna ask for staff comments, I do want you to come back up here though, to go ahead and give everybody just an update on the building, if you don't mind. Because we haven't done that in a while. Alright, so that was resolution C, it'll be up for approval at tonight's regular session. Next is resolution D, and reads as follows: a resolution to negotiate the selling of commercial real estate property. Again, Mr. Franklin, I'm gonna get you to present resolution D to the council.
Okay, I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but we have a couple of pieces of property that the city has owned for several years that there were some intentions to do something with it, but as time goes on, it's not gonna pan out. For instance, the Schillinger Road property is just it's on North Schillinger Road. It's a large piece of property, but it's got a lot of problems with it as far as it's not buildable. There's a very little area, a flat area on the Schillinger Road side, and you can't even access the back of it to get to the other side because Red Creek actually runs through it. So it would take a tremendous amount of money to even make this property worth building on. So at this time, we don't see a need for it. So I think Mayor and I and some others have discussed this, and we'd like to sell this property. And I guess, I don't know if this talks about who we're listing it with or anything like that, or is that part of this deal?
No, it just allows us to list it.
Okay. And the other one is the property we have on Lot Road, and that is gonna be east, or actually west of Schillinger Road and east of McCrary Road, in the bend next to the salvage yard. That's 10 acres that we have right there. We purchased that years ago to possibly put a public safety complex, fire station, and a park. The plans were changed on that, so we ended up moving the public safety complex or the training facility back behind Public Works and the fire tower and all that kind of stuff. So, but it was planned to be out here at one time. Again, this property is just sitting there. We don't have any need for it now that we have a public safety complex right down the road. It wouldn't really make sense to put any other municipal buildings out there at this time. We do see that we can make a good bit. We think we can make a good bit of money off this property, double what we paid for it. The Schillinger Road property, not so sure if we can get. Well, hopefully we just get what we paid for it. But we've owned these properties for a long time, so I think just getting some money back in the hoppers to spend on some of our projects would be a great thing.
All right, thanks. Councilmember Joyce, you got any discussion?
No, neither properties, it's not worth keeping, so I'm done with it.
Councilmember Herring?
Same.
Councilmember Abraham?
Nothing further.
Councilmember Watts? Councilmember LaShie?
It'll be a good deal, whatever you can get for it, and then, cause we're not using it now.
And I think on the property we didn't mention this, but on the property for Lot Road, we're gonna sell the timber on the property before. I mean, it won't get as much, but.
I had to mention that. I talked to the person who was looking at it for us. They said not a lot of value in timber right now. But they said you can wait. There's seasonal times that you can get the timber. They said this would be a good wintertime crop to pick because it's not enough to really waste your time on the summer, but in the winter months it'd be good. But they think it would draw $4,000 to $6,000. So. Might be one of the things where you just list it and say there's an opportunity for timber if you want to. Something we can talk about with the agent. But
if somebody comes in and offers after the council approves them, gives us a good offer, we're just gonna sell it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just give you a heads up.
Let me say before it's sold officially, we'll have to come back.
Right.
Ordinance, council approving. So this is just allowing us to negotiate, get offers. Before everything's finalized, we'll have to come back.
Any other discussion? All right, resolution D will be up for approval at tonight's regular session. Our last resolution this evening is resolution E, and reads as follows: a resolution to terminate the lease of property at 6836 Lot Road. Mr. Franklin, go ahead again.
All right, this is where our previous Station 2 was on Lock Road. The city has been leasing this property from South Alabama Utilities or Utilities Boards of Town Central now for years, since we've been a city, I believe, or since we've became a paid fire department, and before that with the volunteer department for umpteen years. I don't know how long they've had it, but it's been in under the fire watch for a long time. And now that we've moved Station 2 to our new location, we would like to turn this property back over to the South Alabama Utilities. We don't really have a need for it no more, and they've been good to lease it to us for this long for no price. And I know we've made some improvements on the building, but the lease does say that anything that happens on the property, anything you do to the property stays with the property. South Alabama's done a lot for us in the recent 6 months to a year. They've provided a lot of septic, a lot of sewer and water opportunities for our new buildings and haven't charged us a dime. I think the mayor and I figured between $35,000 and $50,000 they've given to us basically for septic systems, water lines, and work that they've done for us. So I think it would be a good gesture to give this to them and everything on it. We've already cleared all of our fire equipment out of there. So basically they've got a shell little building, and any kind of improvements that we put into the day room and the office and things like that.
That doesn't include the rent-free for 12, 15 years either,
Right.
so.
Right.
Anything else to add, Chief? All right, any discussion, Councilmember Joyce?
Sounds like, again, like those other properties, we don't need it, we have a new public safety station to move, so, and they have been good to us, so let them have it.
Another thing is we can drop insurance on this property, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
That's probably as well as the other properties. I don't know if we
Yeah.
have insurance on these vacant properties.
All right, Councilmember Hare?
That sounds like an easy choice.
Councilmember Ebright?
Yeah, good.
All right, Councilmember Watts? Councilmember LaShue?
Well, we don't need it, we don't need to keep using it. We gotta move, let it happen.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Mr. Franklin. Resolution E will be up for approval at tonight's regular session. All right, moving on to our committee reports. First is the finance. As chairman of the finance, I'll give that report. This past month, we have met twice. The first meeting this month was on 8/24. It was actually our third budget meeting. It was called to order at 6:01. We discussed the appropriations, and they were presented by their organization representative. Committee reviewed the appropriations, discussed and made revisions needed accordingly to the budget. As discussed in tonight's budget presentation, the following appropriations were approved for funding were MGM Band, MGM Dance Team, Boys and Girls Club, Semmes Senior Center, Semmes Chamber of Commerce, Mobile Disc Golf Association, and MGM Softball. Also during that meeting, Police Chief Friend presented his new fiscal year budget to the committee, where it was reviewed and discussed. And also our Public Works Director presented the new fiscal year budget for planning, public works, and Parks and Recreation, where all were reviewed and discussed again. At that meeting as well, Councilmember Ebright presented a PRF for the approval of moving forward with another historic marker for Semmes First Baptist Church. Committee approved that PRF, and meeting was adjourned at 9:13 p.m. Then our next meeting was on September 7th. It was our fourth and final budget meeting. It was called to order at 6:01. Final budget after amendments from myself were presented to committee by Ms. Calhoun. Finance Committee approved unanimously to move forward to council for approval. Ms. Calhoun also presented our anticipated fund balance, or AKA, listen to this one now, Arthur. She presented our anticipated fund balance, AKA surplus, for fiscal year 2022, which looks to be about $3.5 million. We discussed as a committee where to place these funds. $1.5 million will be placed in capital. That will cover anything that we have spent as a council, and plus double. Also, some will remain in our general fund balance, and then a little over $1 million will roll over into our fiscal year budget 2023. Meeting was adjourned at 6:35. Anything else to add?
No, those, that's quite a detailed report, and, like I said earlier, it was very helpful going, wading through all the information by having the different departments present, and even on two different occasions, and the pizza was good, so.
Councilmember, anything else, Councilmember Herring?
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Ebright?
No, just appreciate y'all letting me, sit and attend it.
Councilmember Watts? Councilmember LaShie?
I just appreciate the work y'all do.
Thank you, sir. All right, next our Park and Recreation, which is chaired by Councilmember Tony Ebright. Go ahead, Councilmember.
Thank you, Mayor. We had our meeting, scheduled, I don't quite remember, but I know we had to reschedule because of the holidays. And, had it actually the last week of previous month. We, talked about and approved the PRF that, hopefully I have in front of Finance Committee for the, phase 1 of Municipal Park. They'll go ahead and get the architect, contractor involved, and contractor involved in getting that planned out. So we go forward with that. Also, we, approved to do the PRF to hopefully go in front of the Finance Committee, for the, kids, playground for the, younger kids area. That'll be also over there by the splash pad. We have put, on hold, the Trinity Park, project for now for budget concerns. And we are, went over a couple of other issues for our previous meetings coming up, and that's about it. And that illustration, I let that.
That's right, I think that's it.
All right.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? Councilmember Joyce?
What part was put on hold?
What used to be, we haven't officially changed the name on that, Camellia Park, that's been
Okay.
renamed, was it Tribute Park?
Tribute.
Tribute Park.
I wasn't fond of the name, so we just put it on hold for now. We're gonna.
Tribute, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know what park you were talking about.
We're being nice about it. Thanks.
Future name Tribute Park, it hasn't officially been changed yet.
Councilmember Watts, any questions or discussion? Councilmember LaShie? All right, next we have our Historic Preservation Committee, which is chaired by Councilmember Lee LaShie. Go ahead, Councilmember.
Well, we met, I gave a report to for the first of this month, but, we're still working on the plaques and everything for the Semmes Church, Semmes Cemetery, and the, school, Semmes School. So, we got the financing for it, some of them, we haven't got them yet. We get, as soon as they get here, then we'll know what to do. That we'll set a time to have the ceremonies done.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any discussion? Anything else to add, Councilmember Ebright?
No.
All right, any discussion, Councilmember Joyce?
None?
Councilmember Herring?
Appreciate it, too, it's hard work.
Absolutely. And Councilmember Watts? None. All right, next we have Public Safety Committee, which is chaired by Councilmember Helen Joyce. Go ahead, Councilmember.
We actually did not have a meeting this past month, so, no update on that. But I will ask the, chief to, reiterate the, when the swearing in, let everyone know about the swearing in, ceremony for the first, squad.
Right, yeah, so you all know we've been working hard and, conducting a lot of interviews. Matter of fact, we have 3 more tomorrow. But we have our first 4 officers selected, and they will, be sworn in on Friday, October the 14th at 10 a.m. at the Honor Park. So, we want everybody to come out and witness this historic event.
Thanks, Chief. All right, any questions for Chief? All right. All right, next we have our Public Works, Civil Beautification and Annexation Committee, chaired by Councilmember Herring. Go ahead, Councilmember.
All right, so, we met yesterday. We had to push our meeting back due to, other obligations already, set for that day on the second Thursday. We had relatively a quick meeting, it was only an hour long. Let's see, we got an update from, Mr. Franklin about the start of the McCrary Road turn lane or project, whatever you like to call it. They just got started. Of course, a lot of people are on social media posting about it, wondering what's happening, and a lot of them are getting excited about it too. Also got a really nice update from Mr. McKee on annexations. I think we had 19 of them
24.
24, fixing to come.
19 in one area.
19 within one area, of our last, annexation meeting that we had, which is just very exciting.
Yeah, Jacob, we're ready for that one. We got 25 annexations coming toward you. Toward your way.
That'll be a short meeting.
Yeah. And of course, most of that, of course, is to thank, Mr. McKee for his hard work, with following through on the with staying in contact with citizens of different properties and going above and beyond the majority of the time, to make sure that they're actually filling out the annexation forms properly and make sure everything gets, set done. Also, we have our next, special annexation meeting on the 29th at the Semmes, Senior Center, for Committee of Grove and Whitestone Estates. We're hoping to, not to toot our own horn, but hoping to have almost similar reaction after our meeting that we had just recently, within, Palmer Woods and Kensington. So we're really looking forward to, of course, reaching out to those, citizens within those neighborhoods to see what their concerns are, see if we can educate them on annexation and hopefully, get a lot of annexations coming into our city more.
And we seem to be able to sell that by letting everybody know that you live in our community, but you have no say-so.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, annexation does that. Not being annexed in, does that to you. But I will say, we had, maybe 4 households show up at the last meeting, or it might be a couple more. But we ended up getting 19 annexations out of it because those 4 went door to door. And we actually have more that they're just not touching right now. So as soon as they do, we'll have more come in. So, not only congratulations to Mr. McKee, but to your committee as well, because when we have those meetings, they all show up. They all want to be a part of what we're doing. They want to see the growth of our community as well. So, congratulations to your committee. Anything else to add, Councilmember Ebrahim?
Yeah, we did, go over about the delay of the trash, service, the trash truck. And, hopefully the last part of that will come in so we can get.
Let's get there. Let's say debris truck.
Debris
I don't want
truck,
people think we're doing trash, because we're
I'm
live.
sorry, yeah, the debris
We're live
truck.
on camera, and he's looking
It's
like
already
his
on
ears.
Facebook.
Yeah.
The
So
debris
say the
truck.
debris removal truck, yeah.
Debris removal truck. And hopefully that, last component will come in, and so we can offer that service to the citizens of Semmes community.
Right. All right, any comments, Councilmember Walshy? Councilmember Joyce?
No, it sounds like, a lot of hard work from that committee and the staff, and great to see, especially great to hear in that neighborhood that, some of those people then took it upon themselves to go, talk to their neighbors.
Yeah.
Even better.
All right, next is our planning commission, which is our, appointee on there is Councilmember Joyce. Go ahead, Councilmember.
We did not have any, cases, at our last, meeting. We did have, some discussion about the comprehensive plan and, some things that, sort of like to see a few revisions. And I believe the updated version we'll see tomorrow. They're working on the maps. And so hopefully we can then get one more draft so that we can make some, review it, and our deadline is the 30th of the month for, submitting our information.
Committee handles residential annexations and in the last meeting, am I right? No, not business, what do you call it, commercial?
Commercial site plan.
Yeah,
Commercial one. And if they want, they can request something different, and so those were presented, then we had a couple of them, because they wanted to be B1.
Right.
So, yes,
Right.
thank you for correcting that.
I was just saying, of course, thank Councilmember Joyce and her hard work on getting zoning set up, because that makes it easy for annexations.
We had somebody come in the office today. I won't mention, I know we're getting to 7:30, but I will say, we did have somebody come in the office today, and they said, generally we tell them, they said, what's in it for us? We have no ad valorem tax. And we tell them, well, you have to follow our zoning ordinance. And the couple that came in today was thrilled, because they wanted that. They wanted the protection of their property rights, so, it was a good thing. All right, so that's all anything else to add? All right, any questions? All right, moving on to legal counsel, staff comments. Any other comments from this council? All right, he doesn't know. Jacob, you have anything to add?
Just that, we got notification yesterday that, we're getting our first chunk of settlement proceeds, no deal with it, from, the McKesson settlement, and it's $26,000. A portion was paid out over 10 years, but that's just against one company. We got, other ones, still out there, and then, the lawyer told me that there's other potentials that aren't even involved yet. So, I mean, it's a long working process. Like I said, we, just filled out some paperwork and we get money. But I just wanna get, our first payment of the McKesson settlement should be sometime later this year, and then we'll get a yearly payment for 10 years. And then that, to my knowledge so far, that's the only one that's spread out over 10 years. The Johnson & Johnson, the other big one, would be one lump sum. And that should be, completed soon. What we have, we've got a special master, he's in Arizona. He's appointed by the court. I guess y'all have heard a lot about special masters. But anyways, this is a nationwide thing, and he sat down with 260 some odd cities and counties in Alabama who are part of this and divvied it up. And he will have to do that again for the Johnson & Johnson settlement, which should happen soon, and any other potential settlement down the road. So I just want to let y'all know we're finally going to start seeing a little money.
Good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your hard work on it.
Yep.
We'll take 26,000 over 10 years. It don't bother me. It's more than we had before. All right. Work on Mr. Franklin. Any other staff comments?
We do have a ton of events coming up in Semmes.
Go ahead. Tell them what it is.
Of course, our police ceremony that was mentioned already, and then several chamber events like the State of the City coming up. And then we have events as well, like the Fall Festival. We're going to have a trolley this year that's running. That's going to be awesome. Of course, vendors, food trucks, fun for the kids and adults this year. There's lots of fundraisers happening from the schools, and trunk or treat, and of course entertainment. And we'll also have our first Halloween dog costume contest. So
Come on, they're gonna be there.
Oh yeah, it needs to
My
happen.
dogs are gonna be there.
So there's a ton going on coming up.
We're looking forward to it. All right, Mr. Franklin, give us an update on City Hall, please, if you don't mind.
Great news, we'll be done next week and we'll be moving in the fall. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah. All right, so we got the ceiling tiles are in, the interior doors are installed, the windows, all the windows and exterior doors installed. The HVAC is complete. We got the air conditioner going, getting everything humidified or dehumidified. The fixtures are in place. The electrical is complete. We got light fixtures in. Well, 90% of the light fixtures are in. Not the switches on the walls because they still have to paint, but all the lights are in. Working on the bathroom right now. Tomorrow we're supposed to be putting the partitions in the bathrooms. And then hopefully be painting within this week is what I'm hearing. They'll start painting. Once that's done, they'll do flooring, base molding, trim work, and then after that, we'll be looking forward to the cabinetry being installed. So we're getting there. It's slower than what we like, but it's starting to shape up. Also, like I said earlier, the site work is starting back this week, so we'll start seeing the dozers and the track hoes out there. All the utilities are already in, so basically what they're going to be working on is your concrete. So, you know, everybody asks when. We've been saying 60 to 90 days for the last 60 to 90 days, but I mean, hopefully, yes. I mean, honestly, I'm hoping that by Thanksgiving we're in. I think that's a good number. I think it's realistic.
They if you go out there, they in the last 2 weeks alone. We took the staff out there. Miss Mary and I went out there today, and Liz and Miss Debbie. The last couple of weeks alone, they have tremendous efforts on what they've done out there. I mean, the building was completely different, and so every time we go out there, something new. In fact, they've already got the flooring in some of the bathrooms, and then So, you know, Mr. Lewis was out there today, he's our contractor owner of Roy Lewis Construction. So, Mr. Lewis, when you have this building done? Oh, Christmas.
Yeah. It's kinda like we talked about, before, when we were doing the public safety complex, the same thing happened. It got dead for
It did.
30 days, and we were like, we're never gonna get in there. Then all of a sudden, things started falling into place, but I think that's what's happening
I mean, we walked in one day, all of a sudden we got ceiling tiles everywhere in there. It's like, wow, it actually looks like a building. We looked again there. All right, any questions about City Hall before we adjourn this meeting? All right, any other business that might come before this council? All right, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn, but I am gonna ask for a 10-minute break between the meetings, okay? I have a motion from Councilmember, I got a motion from Councilmember Joyce, second by Councilmember Ebright. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this Semmes City Council work session is now adjourned. Let's recess and.
How about it? Jason Franklin.
Would you like to, give Night meetings. All right, guys, it's 7:36. Seeing quorum present, I want to call this Semmes City Council regular session to order. Once again, the time is 7:36. Please remember to place your cell phones and all electronic devices in silent mode in order to prevent any disruption in this evening's meeting. Roll call, Ms. Hamburg.
Councilmember Watts. Councilmember Ebright.
Present.
Councilmember Herring.
Here.
Councilmember Joyce.
Here.
Councilmember LaShie.
Here.
Mayor Van Hook.
Here. All right, invocation. Mr. Frank, will you listen to the invocation this evening? It's been a while.
Sure.
And Chief, will you listen to the pledge? You the only chief in here.
All right, let us pray. God, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all you've done for us, Lord. We thank you for all your many blessings. And I thank you for your love and your mercy, Lord. I ask you to just give us a good night tonight. I ask you to bless everything we do and forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank you both. All right, consideration of the minutes from work and regular session. The minutes for meetings of September 6th and September 8th were discussed previously in tonight's work session. Do I have a motion to approve minutes for meetings of September 6th and September 8th?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Joyce, seconded by Councilmember Herring. Any further discussion? Councilmember Joyce?
No.
Councilmember Herring?
None.
Councilmember Ebright?
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts?
None.
Councilmember LaShie?
None.
All right, having no further discussion, all in favor of approval of minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes for meetings of September 6th, September 8th have been approved. All right, tonight we do have one presentation. We have a proclamation I'd like to read out. This is for the NICU Awareness Day. So whereas 500,000 babies are admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit every year, and whereas families of NICU babies struggle to find resources, support, and education, and whereas funding for research into the causes of a NICU stay, as well as the holistic care of NICU families is vital. And whereas NICU Awareness Day provides an opportunity for families whose lives have been affected by NICU to share their story, honor dedicated health professionals, meet others, and know they are not alone. And whereas the establishment of NICU Awareness Month will also provide visibility to research that improves the quality of life for NICU babies and their parents. Now, therefore, I, Brandon Van Hook, Mayor of the City Semmes, do hereby proclaim September 30th, 2022 as NICU Awareness Day in Semmes, Alabama. Thank y'all. All right, moving on to ordinances. We have none. I'm sorry. Do we have any? I'm sorry. Let me. That was rewinding. All right, Ms. Hambury, do we have any citizen comments on the services, policies, and annual affairs of the city?
No, sir.
All right, moving on to ordinances. We have none. Resolutions. We have 5 resolutions up for approval. Each resolution was discussed in this evening's work session. First up is Resolution A and reads as follows. Resolution for days and times of regular meetings of the council. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution A?
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Councilmember Ebright.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember, I was hoping Joyce. All right, discussion, Councilmember Joyce.
None.
Councilmember Herring.
None.
Councilmember Ebright.
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts.
None.
Councilmember LaShie.
None.
All right, Ms. Hambury, we record the vote.
Councilmember Watts.
Yeah.
Councilmember Ebright.
Yes.
Councilmember Herring.
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce.
Yes.
Councilmember LaShie.
Yes.
Mayor Van Hook.
Yes, motion to approve Resolution A has been approved. Next is Resolution B and it reads as follows. Resolution adopting the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution B?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Joyce, seconded by Councilmember Herring. Discussion, Councilmember Joyce.
None.
Councilmember Herring.
None.
Councilmember Ebright.
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts.
None.
Councilmember LaShie.
None.
All right, Ms. Hambury, we record the vote.
Councilmember Watts.
Yeah.
Councilmember Ebright.
Yes.
Councilmember Herring.
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce.
Yes.
Councilmember LaShie.
Yes.
Mayor Van Hook.
Yes, motion to approve Resolution B has been approved. Next is Resolution C and reads as follows. Resolution to award bidding contract with Kent's Landscaping LLC for landscaping at the new City Hall. I do have a motion to approve Resolution C.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Herring, seconded by Councilmember Joyce. Discussion, Councilmember Joyce.
None.
Councilmember Herring.
None.
Councilmember Ebright.
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts.
None.
Councilmember LaShie.
None.
All right, Ms. Hanbury, we record the vote.
Councilmember Watts?
Yeah.
Councilmember Ebright?
Yes.
Councilmember Herring?
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce?
Yes.
Councilmember LaShie?
Yes.
Mayor Van Hook?
Yes. Motion to approve Resolution C has been approved. Next is Resolution D and reads as follows. Resolution to negotiate the selling of commercial real estate property. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution D?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Joyce, seconded by Councilmember Herring. Discussion, Councilmember Joyce.
None.
Councilmember Herring.
None.
Councilmember Ebright.
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts.
None.
Councilmember LaShie.
None.
All right, Ms. Hanbury, we record the vote.
Councilmember Watts?
Yeah.
Councilmember Ebright?
Yes.
Councilmember Herring?
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce?
Yes.
Councilmember LaShie?
Yes.
Mayor Van Hook?
Yes. Motion to approve Resolution D has been approved. All right, next is Resolution E and reads as follows. Resolution to terminate the lease of property at 6836 Lot Road. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution E?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Joyce, seconded by Councilmember Herring. Discussion, Councilmember Joyce.
None.
Councilmember Herring.
None.
Councilmember Ebright.
No, sir.
Councilmember Watts.
None.
Councilmember LaShie.
None.
Ms. Hanbury, will you record the vote?
Councilmember Watts?
Yeah.
Councilmember Ebright?
Yes.
Councilmember Herring?
Yes.
Councilmember Joyce?
Yes.
Councilmember LaShie?
Yes.
Mayor Van Hook?
Yes. Motion to approve Resolution E has been approved. All right, do we have any new or unfinished business to come before this council?
We didn't mention this in the budget, but would you like to tell them what's in the personnel part?
Yeah, oh, we did. You go ahead and tell them. Go ahead. Since you rose your hand.
A modest 2.5% raise for all employees,
Across the board.
cost of living.
Awesome. So, exciting. All right. Any other new or unfinished business to come before this council? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Councilmember Watts.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Ebright. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The Semmes City Council regular session is now adjourned at 7:43.
Yeah, you would have.
2.5%.